Okay, pack a few things in your bag, get in the car. I'm gonna take you, 20 miles up the freeway, and you have to live with this new family. Now you do that to a 10-year-old and put them in a stranger's home. The home smells different, it has different rules, has a different bed, different food. And that oftentimes proves to be more traumatic for the child than anything they experienced before that.
The foster care system began in 1853 as an attempt to remove the large number of immigrant children sleeping on the streets of New York. Today, less and less families are willing to provide a home for foster children, leading to more displacement than ever. This inconsistent lifestyle leads to a higher risk of mental and behavioral issues than children who aren't in foster care.
Well, what surprises a lot of people is that oftentimes the placement in a foster home is actually more traumatic for a child than anything that they were experiencing in the home. They eventually sort of catch on to the fact that their lifestyle is not what their friend or their neighbor's lifestyle is like. That discovery turns into a lot of anger.
I've worked with kids with post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar disorder.
Mental illness it's a reality for foster kids. The children are usually frightened. They don't understand what's going on. And mostly I see fear, a lot of fear, and it's fear of the unknown.
I went into care when I was 4 years old, and during that time I moved over 80 times. It's pack your stuff, get ready, you're leaving. It's just go.
And then we expect these kids to behave normally and to be thankful. I think that's the other piece is there's so many people in my life who say, they're so lucky to have you, aren't they so thankful? And my answer is, I know they've got food and shelter and love. But how are you thankful when you've been pulled away from everything you always know?
Relationships are what heal our children that we damage in foster care from the trauma. They come into care because they're either abused or neglected. And then we have a system that tends to compound the trauma by moving them around indiscriminately and not paying attention to the relationships that they form and need to keep.
The solution of taking the kid out of the environment and putting them with one family and then another family and another family that doesn't always work out is not always the best plan.
The California Youth Connection was created by foster children in 1988 as a way to empower foster youth to advocate for policy change and is now located in Oakland, California. Through its legislative progress, the CYC aims to amend the inequity caused by the constant displacement that most foster children experience. Since its creation, the CYC has opened 32 chapters across California, succeeded in establishing the Foster Youth Bill of Rights that ensure that foster children have access to mental health services and medical services, and implemented legislation requiring social workers to identify meaningful relationships in foster youth lives and take action to maintain those.
I think the inequity lays in the amount of care and attention that is being provided for foster youth compared to the general population. With a stable and intact family, there's going to be a lot more care, there's going to be a lot more focus and attention on that youth or child's development. Our job is primarily focused on empowering young people to make legislative and policy recommendations.
Biggest legislative accomplishments that CYC has been working on for a while now is AB 12. CYC has been advocating for AB 12 since 2008, and it just got passed with legislation last year. And AB 12 is the extension of foster youth support up until the age of 25. So if you're being progressive or going to school, or you have a dependent in your life and you are seeking support in order to still be successful, upon approval, the state of California will provide assistance in various ways. So whether it's with housing, mental health, food, whatever that is, they try to provide that assistance.
When I joined, I was on that path of I was about to be getting into, selling drugs and things like that to survive. And when I joined CYC, I found my voice. I got to advocate for the things that were holding me back and the things that I didn't like in a really professional place where I could actually see that change was being made. And it wasn't like that fake you have a voice. It was like you really do have an impact on California's child welfare system. I wanted to focus on mental health because I never got that opportunity to focus on my own mental health. Is that I got to really heal myself in sharing my story. So part of when we go to meetings on mental health, it's sharing why what I'm doing there, what my personal story was in involvement, and then what it is I want to see happen. And that for me is like healing, to know that my voice is going to be heard.